Over the years, I've worked with many seven-figure cleaning business owners. And what's interesting is when you look inside those businesses, when you're looking at their marketing, their systems and processes and things like that, it's not that they're working harder than smaller cleaning business owners. It's just that they're working smarter. They're doing a few things very, very well. And in today's video, I want to take you through what those few things are. And this should help those of you that are looking to grow to that seven-figure level to get there quicker and more efficiently. So let's dive in. So first of all, these owners have multiple lead generation channels. What do I mean by this? So lead generation and trying to find clients is a key part of growing this business. You know, at its core, we're trying to find clients that are looking for cleaning services. We have cleaners that are looking to provide those cleaning services. We match the two and then we book revenue, take a margin and grow the business from there. So client marketing is an extremely important part of getting to that seven-figure level. But the key thing here is that we do not want to be relying on a single channel. So this is something that has been very, very common. A very, very common mistake over the last few years is that many cleaning business owners that I've worked with or have got in touch with me have relied solely on Google local service ads. This has been, a very popular channel to begin with. And when Google rolled it out, they set a very low lead cost. They wanted everyone to use it. And, everyone did use it. It was very effective. But as the market got more mature and more saturated, Google gradually increased that lead cost. So it was getting to a level now where you're not generating the same profit as you were doing 2 or 3 years ago. So you're getting cleaning businesses that are maybe doing 30, 40, 50K a month, and they're finding that their only marketing channel, Google local service ads, just isn't doing it for them anymore. They're struggling to grow their business but beyond that level, because the ROI isn't there on that marketing channel. And this is why it's really important that as you grow the business, you don't rely solely on one channel itself. So, look at all the different marketing channels out there, test all the offline channels, test flyering, build partnerships with local businesses, go to the local chambers of commerce. On the online side, test Google ads, look at Facebook ads, invest in local SEO, put some money to work in Bark and Thumbtack. You want to be trying all these different channels. And the key thing here is that you need to be tracking the performance of all of those channels extremely carefully. This is something that I really see noticeably different from the larger, more established owners versus those that are starting out. They know the ROI for each marketing channel. They're tracking all the leads, all the calls by each channel. There's no guesswork here. And really what you want to do is get to a position where you have tested, say, 20 marketing channels, and then that, which are the number 1, number 2, number 3 channels. And you want to focus your efforts on those top performing channels. Don't focus on the number 1. Try running number 2 and number 3 alongside number 1. Can you get those number 2 and 3 channels to improve? If Google ads is your top performing channel and LSA is number 2 and Facebook ads is number 3, can you get Facebook ads to improve the ROI? Can you improve your Google ads better? Is there something you can be doing with your local service ads targeting that can improve? Because if you have multiple channels, you're far better chance of getting to that seven-figure level. Because, as we know, every marketing channel, it changes with time. Maybe local service ads is running really hot this month, but then next month it doesn't. So then, if you're running Google ads and Facebook ads, you've got 2 other channels to fall back on. So it gives you multiple opportunities to get more leads in the door and grow the business further. So what might be helpful for you guys is I've put together a free PDF covering the top 20 marketing channels for your cleaning business. I'll leave a link in the description below, but have a look at all those channels. Make sure you try all of those and come up with that handful of marketing channels that are performing best for your cleaning business. So number 2 is that these seven-figure businesses are really niche down. I talk about niching and specialization a lot on my channel, and I think this is a key component of growing a profitable business in this industry. Because, as we know, no matter where you are around the country or around the world, there's lots and lots of cleaning businesses out there. One of the most common questions I get asked from business owners at the start is, how do I compete against all these other businesses out there? And the answer really comes down to finding a niche, finding a specialism in the industry. So rather than being a cleaning business that does house cleaning, does office cleaning, does floor cleaning, oven cleaning, window cleaning, don't be a generalist. Don't be seen to be by the market as all these other cleaning businesses are. You want to choose a specific niche. So be the move out cleaning specialist, or be the cleaning business that only works with wealthy homeowners looking for recurring service, or be the janitorial business that only works with offices, accountants, law firms. Don't be a generalist, because the issue is that most of the cleaning businesses out there are generalists. They do everything. And if you are a client looking for service, it is often very difficult to see what is the difference between this cleaning company that offers these services and another cleaning company down the road that offers a very similar set of services according to their website. So if you are seen by the market to be the same as all the other competition out there, you have much less control over the price that you charge. The price will be set by the market, because if you set a high price for janitorial service and the market, a client thinks, okay, I'm just going to go with this cleaning business down the road because they offer the same service, you're going to lose that client. So you have no control over your pricing. Whereas specializing and becoming an expert in a particular niche gives you pricing power, because if you are, rather than a generic cleaning company offering all these different services, let's say you only specialize in post-construction cleaning. You're the post-construction go-to cleaning company. Your website only talks about post-construction cleaning. All your clients' testimonials are post-construction cleaning. Effectively, if you come across a potential client, or a potential client is looking for that type of service, they're going to be really interested in what you do. Generally, people are more interested in working with specialists, because specialists usually offer a higher quality service, and a higher quality service will allow you to set a higher price as well. So a lot of these 7-figure, more established cleaning businesses have a niche. Is it maybe the particular service offered, or maybe they offer eco cleaning products, or maybe their service quality is so high, their Google reviews are so high that they can set whatever pricing that they want. But don't be seen by the market to be generalist, because if you are seen like that way, you won't be able to set a high enough price to generate enough profit after you pay your cleaners and all your other costs. You need enough profit, enough gross profit to reinvest in your business, invest in marketing, invest in a virtual assistant to grow your business to that 7-figure level. So niching down is extremely important. And then item number 3 is standardization around your systems and processes. So often what is very common is at the start of your business journey, you as the business owner, maybe you're doing some of the cleaning, but you'll certainly be, managing the client communications, you're probably interviewing cleaners. And what you'll find is a lot of this stuff that you're doing is done off the fly. Let's say a client makes a complaint, and you process it in your mind and then get back to the client. Maybe there's a breakage in a client's property, and some, maybe there's been some furniture damage. Now, again, how do we deal with this? Do we have insurance? How do we get back to the client? Do we offer money back? Do we put them in touch with our insurance company? A lot of the processes, the day-to-day processes, will be stuck in your head. And that was certainly the case with me. But what you find is that those companies that start growing quickly and start getting to those, the high 6-figure, 7-figure level, don't have all these processes and actions in their head. It's all down on paper. Maybe it's down on a Google document or a Microsoft Word document. Because you can't run your business completely yourself. As your business grows and you're getting more clients and more issues and more moving parts, you will just burn yourself out if you don't have a clear structure and process in place. So one of the key steps that you need to do if you're going from that 6-figure level to the 7-figure level is getting everything that is in your head down onto paper. Get all your key systems and processes nailed down. Okay, an example would be, how do I price a cleaning job? Let's say someone calls you in. What is the first question asked? Which location are you based? Do you serve that area? If you can price off telephone quotes, maybe you're asking for the size of the property, square footage, how many bathrooms or bedrooms, if it's a residential cleaning. You need to ask all these questions, and these questions need to be jotted down on a piece of paper or a Google Doc. And then once you have that in place, you'll find out that if you're still doing it yourself as the business owner, you're not burning out. You can just refer to the document, you can change it, you can fine tune it. But the power of the systems and processes document is that it really standardizes your services. A standardized service is far easier to scale. There's far fewer moving parts, much less bespoke input. And then you can bring in a virtual assistant or an office manager to help run the business for you. And what you'll find is that getting the business up and running, doing your own marketing, managing your own clients at the start, is doable. You don't have many clients, you don't have many cleaners, you've got time in the day. But when you go from, say, 10 recurring clients to 50 to 100 to 150, the sheer volume of day-to-day tasks that you need to be doing to run that business will squeeze any available time that you have as the business owner to work on your business rather than in the business. And this is key because, if your day is getting filled with all these day-to-day tasks, you can't figure out, how do I grow the business further? How do I get X number more client leads? How do I, do I need to increase my pricing? Why is my profit so low? How do I increase my profit margins? So you need to get a virtual assistant or an office manager in place. But the first step is having a solid SOPs document, systems and processes document in place. You need to extract yourself out of running the cleaning business yourself. Get someone to help you run the day-to-day operations. That will free up your time to think about, how do I grow this thing further? And that is a key step that successful high 6-figure and 7-figure cleaning businesses really get right early on. So number 4 is key performance indicators. The KPIs are an extremely important part of running your business. So the analogy I make to people starting out is, let's say you're on a plane. The captain of the plane, the flight is flying the aircraft. But as you know, when they're in the cockpit, there are all these different dials and trackers and things going on. There's not a blank dashboard. That captain or that pilot is flying the plane with assistance from all these things. If they had nothing in there, that'd be extremely difficult and extremely dangerous. So with our cleaning business, as we start growing the business further, the KPIs become extremely important, the key performance indicators, because you need to know without gut feeling if the business is on track or not. If the business is veering off and maybe growth is stalling, you need to very quickly, figure out, why is that happening? Is it because clients are cancelling? Okay, why are the clients cancelling? Is it because of the pricing, or is it because of the quality, or is it because the customer service is becoming an issue? So your key performance indicators allow you, as the business owner, to get a good idea of if the business is on track or not. And this becomes extremely important as you step away from the day-to-day running of the business. If you're still doing all the day-to-day operations, you probably got a good idea. You've got your finger on the pulse. Why, maybe why are things veering off? Why aren't things growing as quickly? But if you are following up on my previous step and you've got a VA or an office manager on board, you'll have much less of an idea on the day-to-day operations. So you need to figure out, what are the key performance indicators in your business? If you looked at this handful of numbers, would you be able to ascertain, is the business growing well? Is it healthy? Is it on track, or is it veering off? And for every cleaning business, it will be different. But some of the typical things that we want to be looking at would be things like, number of clients added, number of recurring clients added, the churn rate of our recurring clients. A high churn rate can often indicate a quality issue with the service provided. How many cleaners have you onboarded that week? What is your cleaner churn rate? Are you getting a large number of your existing workforce leaving? And that this becomes obviously a bigger issue as you grow the business. So, tracking your revenue, tracking your profit each month is obviously a key part of that. But taking your KPIs to the next level often, require you to look at what I call leading indicators. Those indicators that give you a good, clear runway if your business is going to steer offline or not. So, we might find that we've got a spike in our recurring client cancellations, but, we might not see the revenue impact or the profit impact until, say, the following month. Because, as we know, a recurring client will generate revenue throughout the month. A weekly recurring client, generates revenue for us every single week. So select those KPIs in your business that give you a good idea of if your business is on track or not. And this is something that, you see the larger, more established cleaning business owners have absolutely nailed down. There's no gut feel. It is, okay, my churn rate has gone up from 5% this month to 7% or 8%, or my recurring clients, I've only onboarded 20 recurring clients this month. Usually it's 25. It's that sort of mathematical certainty that you see with the more established business owners. So then number 5 is having a solid local SEO strategy. So even today in 2026, most, if not all, of the 7-figure cleaning business owners that I work with have a nailed down SEO strategy. So, if people are going onto Google, typing in maid service near me, cleaning companies Chicago, 40 to 50% of all the people doing those searches will click on one of the 3 results in the Google Maps section in the middle of the page. So, as we know, those companies, you can see their reviews, pictures, videos. So that is where the majority of that traffic will go to. So, even today, the very best quality traffic comes from Google. Put yourself in a potential client's shoes. Most people will still jump to Google to find cleaning companies. But the good news is that even with ChatGPT and other AI platforms becoming more prevalent as a search engine, people are going to ChatGPT and asking for recommendations for cleaning services as well. If you have a solid SEO strategy in place that is ranking your cleaning business high in Google Maps, it will also mean invariably that you're getting ranked high on ChatGPT as well, because ChatGPT is obviously looking at the data on Google when they're bringing in recommendations as well. So having a solid nailed down SEO strategy is still key. It still provides the foundation for all the new client leads for these more established cleaning businesses. I would say at least 50% of all client leads for these larger businesses still come from SEO and local SEO. So getting an SEO strategy in place sooner rather than later is extremely important. And that's what I'm going to go into in a bit more depth in my next video. It's about, local SEO, what it is, how you can get set up at the beginning for success. And as I said, the sooner you can get started with your local SEO, the better. So I'll see you on the next one.